I see in a couple of recent articles that increasingly it is uncertain just where COVID-19's origins might be and how it jumped to humans. The story that I first read, and which I gather is the official explanation given by Chinese authorities, was that it was a virus native to bats, and it made the transition to human hosts when the animals were held and sold in an unsanitary market. However, there has been always another and slightly more paranoid explanation for the disease. In it, COVID was being examined in a research laboratory and that it infected one or more of the staff. The paranoia comes with the question of just what the virus was doing in the lab in the first place. Was it simply part of a research project? Or, frankly, was it being looked at as a potential weapon? Personally, I'm clueless on all of this. I'm a layman, and so don't even remotely understand the evidence and the arguments for the two origin stories. But even so, maybe I could be forgiven for speculating a bit on what COVID spread could teach those who do not love us. That is, if someone were indeed looking at us and considering the use of biological weapons against us, what would they have seen? Well, for a start, they would have seen that if a contagion is spread in the United States by whatever means, there are powerful interests and individuals who are willing to ignore the crisis. For reasons ranging from economics to ideology, these interests are perfectly happy to stand aside and watch it spread. They would deny that it existed. Quote, COVID is a hoax, end quote. The, quote, plandemic, end quote. Or they would, in the name of individual liberties, my body, my choice, oppose even the slightest countermeasures like masking. Or, once effective vaccines had been developed, then they would oppose them for ideological reasons, i.e. anti-vax activism. Thus, a foreign enemy might well conclude that if it wanted to destroy the United States, or at least damage it severely, a full-scale biological attack would be ideal. In the American case, germ warfare would be an effective weapon whose deadliness was actually assisted by its targets. This would be doubly true if, as was the case under the previous administration, the White House was itself determined to ignore or downplay the reality of the attack. Quote, the cure must not be worse than the disease, end quote. On the other hand, a foreign enemy would surely also observe that if the administration in question was genuinely determined to oppose a pandemic, then the biological attack would be far less potent. The Biden administration, for example, has shown how remarkably effective biological civil defense can be if it is well organized, properly funded, and forceful. That being the case, a foreign observer might well conclude that now is not the time to launch a biological attack on the United States, but waiting a few years and hoping for a return of Donald Trump to the White House, or the appearance there of another Trump-like figure, would be well worth the patience. Of course, this is all just speculation, probably groundless speculation to boot. I'm no more a military strategist than I am a virologist. Yet, you must confess there is something interesting in the logic. It may just be fiction, but it is a compelling fiction. Or, to put it all another way, if I really were a super criminal, a Putin-esque Bond villain, or a pathological killer in high office, I would be watching the election returns of 2022 and 2024 with great and murderous anticipation. Until next time, onward and upward.